Okay, today I'm gonna get into a few tips of how to time your move to the Tampa, Florida area. What do you do with your stuff? What do you do with your other house? When do you make offers on houses here? Let's get into it. I'm Sam, and welcome to the Living in Tampa, Florida channel. Every single week, we release videos about what it's like to live, work, play, and move to the Tampa, Florida area. If that's something you are interested in, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the little bell so you don't miss any videos. Also, I am a licensed realtor in the state of Florida, so if you have any real estate specific questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. My number and email are right there on the screen. And this video topic actually came from someone who reached out to me because this is a hard thing to figure out, how to time your move to the area and how to line up closings and how to make all that go seamlessly. And we're gonna get into it. I got a call a couple weeks ago from someone that was in the area. He said, hey, we're moving to Tampa. My wife just accepted a job at one of the big hospitals here, and can you help us find something? This was a Friday morning. I said, hey, you know what? I have some time tomorrow. I have this 2-hour slot. Let's go meet at an open house and let's just take a look at something that you might be interested in, and let's see if we're on the right path. I met them there. We looked around. The house was a little weird. It had solar panels, but only for the pool and not for anything else on the house, which was kind of a negative to this couple. And so we went to another house and looked at it. It was nice too, but not perfect. This couple had to go back to Chicago, sell their house, and move. That's a lot of work. So they just asked me, hey, so they asked, what do you need from us to make this process easy? And I laid out some steps for them. Here they are. So the first step I recommend to anyone is finding a job that you are happy with. Coming down here and then finding a job is kind of rough. We have a lot of employment opportunities, but they're kind of low paying. We do have really high employment. No, I should say we have really low unemployment is really how they track that. And specifically in Pinellas County, which is to the west of Hillsborough County, which is the main county of Tampa, Pinellas County often has some of the lowest unemployment in the country. Even in the midst of the pandemic, the unemployment in this county never went over 10%. So that was number one. Find a job that you're happy with, find a job that you can do for a little while, and then let's start looking for a house. The second thing is settle your affairs from wherever you're moving from. So that might be sell your house, that might be put in your 2 weeks notice, that might be sell a car, whatever it is. It could be all kinds of different things related to moving away from a place that you may have lived for a long time. Number 3, drive or ship your stuff. These container companies are very popular now, pods and things like that. When I moved here from Colorado, I actually chose to drive our stuff down. So I rented a big Penske truck, 26 feet, and I hooked a trailer up to it, and I put my wife's car on a trailer on the back and drove from Colorado to Florida. So once I drove all our stuff down here, we had a short-term place to stay that was furnished. So I put all of our stuff into a storage unit, and I rented a 10 by 10 unit thinking I'm just gonna cram this stuff in there. Then when I got there, they didn't have that unit available for me, so they upgraded me to a 20 by 10 unit that was air conditioned for the same price, which was a real bonus. So we put all of our stuff in there, and it was really nice to be able to gain access to it throughout our first few months in this short-term housing situation. A lot of people will ship their stuff, and these companies like pods will just hold it somewhere in some kind of warehouse until it needs to be delivered at the house that they buy. The real disadvantage to this is, the two big disadvantages that I see. One is the cost. It can be very, very expensive. And 2 is you don't have access to your stuff that you might want. So this one couple I was working with had their stuff shipped in a pod, and they lived in a short-term rental for 60 days. So they, had 2 months of living out of suitcases. Sorry, that was actually my number 4, is kind of the pod storage style thing, which there are some cheaper versions than pods, or storing your stuff in some kind of storage unit. I actually really like the storage unit approach, as long as you can like clear it all out as soon as you do find a house, because having stuff in a storage unit seems like kind of a nightmare to me, at least long term. So then once you're here and once you've gotten familiar with some of the areas, you know, that would really only take a couple weekends of driving around, kind of picking some areas you would like to live and some areas that might fit your price range. Then you start making offers on houses, and you usually don't get the first few accepted because the house might be worth more money to someone else than it is to you, and so you really just want to let some of those go, and you make a few offers, and eventually you'll get one accepted. And you know, that step of it, of actually starting to make offers and getting one accepted, usually takes around 3 weeks. So say 21 days, 3 weekends of like making a few offers every weekend. So after getting an offer accepted, you usually have about 40 to 45 days of contract period where all that kind of stuff is happening, and then you close on the house and you can move in. So if you're moving here and you're ready to make offers, that's still about a 60 to 65 day period. So you really need 2 months of housing, even if you're ready to make offers as soon as you come here. You know, there are situations where you could time the sale of your house in a different area or different state with the purchase of your house in the Tampa area, and sometimes those closings can line up perfectly. But in a market that is as hot as the Tampa area, that gets a lot harder. Not impossible, but a lot harder, unless you are willing to overpay for houses, which I would not recommend. So these are just some of the things that I am seeing as common and things that I'm recommending to my clients as they're moving from out of state. I hope you found this information useful. If you have any questions about this topic, please comment down below. Let's continue the conversation there, or give me a call, text, email, anytime, and let's continue the conversation there. Again, don't forget to subscribe and follow along with every video that we release here at Living in Tampa. Thanks for coming by.